Good evening, everyone. This is the Bennington Select Board. It is March 9th, 2015. Please join me in a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. It is 6 p.m. We meet on the second and fourth Monday of every month here at the River Street Firehouse, unless otherwise warned. I want to make just a couple of quick announcements. First, I'm going to introduce the board. We have Tom Jacobs to the far left, Michael Keene.
Good evening.
Vice Chair Sharon Brush.
Hi.
I'm Chair Greg Van Houten. We have Jim Carroll on my right. Absent are Justin Corcoran and John McFadden. Our town manager Stu Hurd to the right, and Linda Bermuda's recording. As many of you may know, the Benmont Avenue Bridge has closed today. That traffic on Northside Drive heading towards Benmont Avenue gets diverted to US 7 North Street. People are still habitually making that turn despite about 14 signs as you lead up. If you're on Benmont Avenue, you can still travel north to Northside Drive. Please keep that in mind. You may have noticed that the roads are starting to move. This happens every spring. This is spring we're looking forward to here. And please drive with care. Slow down a little bit. They'll move for the next month or so, and then hopefully they'll move back, and they'll be nice and smooth again. But there are some real serious dips out there. We had an advisory question on town meeting day regarding the fluoridation of the community water system. That is not on the agenda tonight. This agenda was made before town meeting day. So we will be discussing the results of that vote at the next meeting on March 23rd at 6 p.m. And that's that. So I'm going to move to the minutes, approval of the minutes from February 23rd.
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor? That is 5. It's unanimous. 2 absent. Okay. Warrants. Do we have any questions on the warrants tonight?
Nope, I don't have.
Nothing, Tom, Michael?
I had a couple that I went over with Stu, so I'm
Okay.
fine.
Sharon?
No, nothing this evening, thanks.
James?
Nope.
No, they were good with me as well. Okay, so that is that. Then we have citizens. First item is citizens. Next week, I just want to say, we're going to try something a little different next week. We're going to move the citizens section to the end of the meeting so that we can make the presentations and give citizens a chance to hear the presentations and make comment or ask questions after. Some other boards do that. We're going to try that out and see how that works so that people don't have to speculate what's going to be said or whatever, and we can work with real details. And then we'll have some guests that we can move through and get out of here. So, do we have any citizens that would like to approach the board? Go ahead, Dick. Please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the public.
Hello, my name is Dick Bauer. I'm a resident of Bennington, and I am part of the Bennington Oral Health Coalition. I just want to briefly read a letter that was written to Greg Van Houten today, and it's from us. Dear Greg, we are writing to you and the Bennington Select Board and follow-up to the advisory vote last week. While our group has not yet reconvened, we want to reach out with some interim thoughts. One of the positive outcomes of our efforts over the past several months has been that the deplorable status of the oral health in Bennington has received increased attention. While the coalition strongly feels that fluoridation is the cornerstone of changing the local oral health culture, we look forward to engaging with those, including members of the Select Board, who have suggested that they are interested in pursuing other ways to change oral health outcomes in Bennington. While the recent vote came out in favor of not adjusting the rate of fluoride in the Bennington water system, the Bennington Oral Health Coalition would like to have a follow-up conversation with the Select Board to talk about leadership and the next steps going forward. We would like to request that the Bennington Oral Health Coalition be given a place on the agenda at one of the upcoming Select Board meetings to continue our discussion. Thank you in advance for entertaining this question. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we would certainly include you in that conversation in the next agenda, so that would be March 23rd, and we'd be looking forward to any recommendations from the coalition at that point.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, that's it for citizens. The next item on the agenda is the Applegate Block Grant Deferral Request. Michael, you're going to introduce that? Okay. Our Economic and Community Development Director, Michael Harrington, will be introducing that.
Good evening. You each received a memo in your packet. Seems like it was just a little while ago that we were talking about a possible deferral on a community development block grant for the Applegate housing project, which is in the midst of putting together a redevelopment plan or reinvestment plan for some construction work that they're looking to do. As similar with most community development block grants, especially those of the housing nature, these are regularly and routinely deferred for periods of time, as long as there's reinvestment and recommitment into the properties. We've gone through two deferrals periods for a one-year deferral while Applegate Limited Partnership put together a construction plan that they could then present to the board, which was also included in your packet. At this time, what they're looking to do is a more extensive deferral, which is actually in line and in common practice, and you'll see letters from the state of Vermont, as well as the Vermont Community Loan Fund, around the deferral of the typical community development block grants around housing. Again, the deferral they're looking for is a 30-year deferral, 0% interest. This is the first presentation to the board, so we'll certainly come back for a final decision. But from my perspective in the community development office, when we have projects that are moving forward, especially in the housing area, the ability for us to defer the payment on those projects allows us to keep equity in the project, make sure it's meeting its objectives year over year and providing quality housing for those people that live there. It also gives us leverage should we feel that the property or the organization is not meeting the needs of its residents. Then we have an ability to call the loan or use the loan as leverage to make sure that the property is maintained in an appropriate way. Applegate has been doing that. I think they see the need for reinvestment, especially around energy saving opportunities, which Nancy Owens from Housing Vermont can speak a little bit more to. But again, I think the reinvestment in the project is a good one. And if we can defer the loan, again, it allows us to make sure that we have an ability to ensure that the project continues to move forward in a positive way. If we look for payback on that loan, it does two things. One, it minimizes our ability to have equity in the project as it gets paid back over the years, and thus we lose our ability to ensure quality housing practices there, but at the same time it puts Applegate Housing Partnership in a difficult position to try to pay back that loan as they're trying to reinvest in the property at the same time. So I'll let Nancy speak. She's come a long way tonight and can talk more about the specifics of the project.
Sure. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Hi.
Good evening.
Evening.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us here, and let me just introduce myself. I'm Nancy Owens. I'm president of Housing Vermont. I run a nonprofit organization that works statewide in partnership with local organizations to build, preserve, and operate affordable rental housing. And I'm here tonight representing Applegate Housing Partnership. The other groups that are here, I just like to point out is Applegate Housing Inc. is the co-partner, co-owner with Housing Vermont of the property, and Tony Yvonne is here, as well as some other members of the AHI board. And then Sandy Bissett is here representing Maloney Property. Maloney is the property management company. And my coworker, Erica Garska, is here. She's the asset manager for Housing Vermont. And a lot of the folks over here are residents and members of the AHI and the Applegate Residents Association group. So first all, I just, as Mike did a nice job explaining why we're here, asking for the deferral of the loan that we have with you, which started out with a principal amount of $625,000. You have been very generous with us over the last 2 years, allowing us to defer that payment on that note while we have spent time determining what our redevelopment plans would be. So thank you for that. And so now, as he mentioned, we're here describing the plan that we have in place and seeking the permanent deferral. As Mike mentioned, the way that affordable housing is financed in Vermont and many other parts of the country, these CDBG loans, Community Development Block Grant loans, are invested into a property with a 0% interest deferred, so no payments, no amortizing debt. And they really sit as a quiet, we call them soft loans. They sit kind of as a piece of equity, as a quiet piece of equity that's making the property affordable. That's how affordable housing is created these days. It's by minimizing or reducing the actual amount of debt so that as a person pays their rent, the rent just has to cover the operating expenses of the property, but doesn't need to also carry the debt portion. And because we're not carrying the debt portion, the rents can remain affordable and we don't have to increase them. I just want to, I talked a little bit about it in my memo, but just wanted to note the primary thing that we're doing at Applegate is addressing energy issues. As you know, right now fuel costs are down a little and that's helped us a bit, but we've had a pattern over the past few years where energy prices have just been spiking, and it's been difficult for us to break even at the end of the year at Applegate with our operating expenses. We're spending $75,000, $85,000 a year on heating costs alone. And Housing Vermont has a very strong commitment to solving these energy issues. Since 2008, when we saw that first energy spike, we have been investing in all kinds of weatherization activities, alternative fuels, and other innovative ways to bring down costs. And what we're looking at Applegate is an innovative wood-fired heating system, district heating system, and that will help us to reduce our energy costs and enable us to operate Applegate over the next horizon of 15, 20, 30 years, continue to be affordable housing. So I provided you with a fair amount of information about both the work, the scope of work that we're doing, and why the deferral is important, and framed it in terms of kind of the context in the state and how other communities handle and support affordable housing in their communities. So I'd be happy to take any questions about the material I presented, or...
Michael?
Yeah, Nancy, Michael Keene. First of all, welcome to all of you folks from Applegate Housing. Nice to see you here. How customary is a 30-year deferment on such a note?
That's fairly customary, especially at the start of the project, a 30-year note.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secondly, my understanding, and affirm it or not, is that the town of Bennington bears no financial risk in this.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Thomas?
How old a project is Applegate at this point in time?
I'm sorry,
How old is the Applegate complex?
Oh,
How long has it been in existence?
1972. It was constructed in 1972.
And I've seen there's been a couple of re-amortizations of the loan over that period of time, and with a 15-year term or amortization.
Yes, so the original Applegate Housing, Inc. and Housing Vermont joined together about 17 years ago to purchase the property from the original developer. That developer had developed Applegate, Highgate, Westgate, Northgate, different corners of the
All the
state.
gates.
All the gates. And as he divested of those properties, Housing Vermont, in partnership with the regional organizations, purchased those properties to retain them as affordable housing. So we had a major investment at that time, and that's when the town made this loan of $625,000 with a 15-year term. So you've modified it these last 2 years to defer it. And so now with this redevelopment, we're asking for the 0% with 30-year term. I guess the 17 years ago when we developed it originally, that 15-year term was a more common way for folks to finance these CDBG funds. These days, it's much more common to see the longer term. So the things have changed a little bit.
You've responded to my question, because it looks like the work that is being contemplated will have a 15 to 20-year life anyway.
Yeah, typically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big project.
Yes.
I thank you for the answers.
Yeah. It's important, just to clarify, the financing that we're using, I talked a little bit about the low-income housing tax credit program and the investor relations, the equity piece. The partnership that we form in order to utilize that financing has, because of the structure of financing, has a 15-year life. So you will always, in a request like this from anyone, you'll always see a minimum term of 15 years to be equivalent to that partnership life.
Okay. So the partnership will be called in 15 years, is that? Or maybe I'm not understanding.
Yeah.
What, this new loan will amortize out, other than this one, other than what we're looking at, the partnership will be 15 years?
All of the financing that we're seeking now, which includes a bank loan from the Vermont Housing Finance Agency, that note actually has a 40-year term on it.
Okay.
So there's the loan. I don't know how how much you want me to delve into, but I'll give you a quick synopsis. But affordable housing in the nation is financed with low-income housing tax credits. Right. Essentially, the state of Vermont gets an allocation of federal tax credits, and an investor, typically a bank, will buy those credits in exchange for producing affordable housing. So we will form a new partnership, and we have secured the credits from the State Housing Finance Agency. That's one of the, it was in my note, it was pending on February 20th, so we secured those credits. And so we have those credits available. We'll sell them to a bank investor, and they will purchase those credits and get a dollar-for-dollar reduction on their federal tax liability in exchange for producing this affordable housing. That credit has a lifespan of 15 years, 10 years of credit, 15 years of compliance. That's how we financed the first part of Applegate. That investor was Bank of Bennington was one of the investors at that time. We often work with local institutions. The bank has received their credits. They got their return that they were expecting, and so they exit the ownership. They don't have any interest in the actual operations of the buildings. They don't participate in managing the property. They're a silent investor. And so we're mimicking that same structure and doing it again. So it will have another 15-year life, and in terms of the ownership component.
It's responsive. I think
Sorry.
you've explained it as well as possible to us, but...
One more question.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. One more question from me. Are the low-income housing tax credits sold only to Vermont banking institutions, or beyond, for Vermont housing, that is, or beyond the state? And could give us an example of a couple of the institutions that buy them? Yeah,
sure. We Housing Vermont, last count, there are 22 banks in Vermont, and Housing Vermont has worked with 20 of them, have been investors with us. At the same time, there are regional banks, so who work, like TD Bank works across
or People's United.
Or People's United or Key Bank, so they also participate. And we have, we create a multi-investor fund where we've raised capital into a fund, and right now that fund has 7 participating banks: TD Bank, Merchants Bank, National Bank of Middlebury, Key Bank, who else is in there? NBT, Northfield Savings Bank. There's a whole host of banks that join together and then invest in various properties.
Thank you.
Jim?
I have some questions. I mean, this is $7 million, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of money.
Yes.
And what assurances, if any, can you give me and this board and the town of Bennington, the people of Bennington, that you will use local contractors?
Well, we hire a general contractor typically, and the general contractor advertises locally and hires subcontractors. We often see a lot of local contractors participating, but and we encourage the advertising and everything else, but we don't have a requirement that folks, you know, have to use local contractors. But we see it frequently. Yeah.
Would your organization be interested in changing that? Because it would make a difference in our local economy and to the people that work and live here.
Yeah, I think that I don't think that's something that we can actually do. Both from we can encourage it, and we can require local advertising, and we can require outreach. And I think what we've seen is that we do end up with local contractors, and there's a lot of other ancillary benefits from the project happening. We've seen, as you can imagine, from whether it's the gas station down the road or the convenience store nearby, the breakfast place, that there's people purchasing goods and services as well as materials for the job, as well as the use of other local contractors and subcontractors. But I can't put in a requirement that only local contractors are used.
Okay, but you said, has it heretofore not been required of
No.
the general, wait a minute, the general contractor to advertise locally?
No, well, I don't know that it's required, but we certainly encourage people to do it. I don't know that I'd have to look at our specifications and front-end documentations, but no.
Okay.
Anyone else?
No, I have no questions.
Okay. Go ahead, Tom.
One final question relative to the permit term.
Yes.
Does the developer, or who gets the benefit, if any, of a deferred window of 30 years versus what we had before 15 years? Where is the benefit of that extension, other than not having to come back and visit more than 15 years?
Yeah, I think that's the benefit is the coming back. I think the term, it would be 15 years is tight because of the timing, because we have to be under the timing with the investor is 15 years, right? So you want the deferment and thing to rest at least as long as the investor. So if you are interested in seeing us come back before 30 years, then I would suggest that we look at a term a little longer than 15, maybe like 18 years or some period that gave us some flexibility to get through the whole investment period. But I think that we could be flexible if that's an important thing for the board to look at a term, 18 to 20 years, if 30 years feels too long.
And the only reason I'm asking that particular question is that this facility has been around quite a few years now.
Yes.
And it's going to, at some point, even with all of these investments, going to reach its useful life. And I would rather have it being addressed in a shorter period of time than waiting the 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of my visceral reaction, but it's only my present.
Understood. So do you want to come back March 9, 2033 and see?
At which time none of us will be sitting here.
They have an elevator.
Mike will be here.
Two things I wanted to point out in the packet that you've got. I just included the modification agreement from last year as a sample. So again, it will be somewhat different, but what you have in there is as a sample. It's also important, I think, to recognize that the organizations and the project does annual reporting and auditing through the state of Vermont and the federal government. So even though we may not see them for an extended period of time, they have to submit financials to us on an annual basis. We do annual reporting, and they are also audited by the state as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
And typically, a select board member does sit on the board, which
Right.
is my job right now.
Okay. The policy of the board is to vote at the following meeting to give people time to check things out. Obviously, we have two board members who are not here. Michael, if you could just make sure that there's a source of information, if someone wants to email a question, that we can reach you or Nancy and find out in case John or Justin have a question before it comes back up on the 23rd.
And I was going to actually mention that. The reason next week is important is because the modification should be signed before the end of March.
Okay.
And so it's important for us to make sure we are able to vote on it at the next
Okay.
meeting.
Well,
So I will reach out to the two members who aren't here today and make sure they don't have any specific questions.
Great, we'll have it on the agenda.
Great.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all. Okay. The next item is the Shires Housing VDCP deliberation. We had the two public hearings, and that discussion was tabled for tonight. So we can bring that back up. If anyone would like to make a motion on that, or...
I move that we accept the grant on behalf of Shires Housing.
I would second that.
All right. Now, any discussion on that, following that?
Yes.
Jim, you have something to say? Go ahead.
I just want to say that over the course of the last, 6 months or more, many things that I've heard that people were concerned about, and that is holding Mr. Broderick and his organization to their word about sticking to their mission statement. And if you saw several meetings ago, I was kind of rough on Mr. Broderick, and when I spoke to people around town and asked them what their thoughts were, they actually were a little rough on me, because they said, here the guy is doing what his primary mission statement is, and that is rehabbing properties. So that's all I want to say, but I will support this.
Okay. I understand. Again, John McFadden is not here tonight. He had some questions, and I do know that he sat down with Mr. Broderick at length, and they both kept me abreast of that meeting. So
Were those questions answered to John's satisfaction?
I haven't heard back from after Mr. Broderick said they met for over an hour and had significant conversation.
Move the question.
Excuse me? Move the motion. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? We have 5 and 2 absent. All right, that motion has passed. Thank you. The next item is the Bald Mountain Trailhead/parking area grant resolution. We heard about this a few weeks ago. We have some new news on that. This is for a parking area that accesses the trail network on the Green Mountains.
Good evening again. I wanted to bring before you another component of the application. The board was kind enough to move forward on the preliminary submittal of the application with us coming back on a regular basis as things progress. One of the continuing pieces is the resolution, which you have in your packet. It does two things. One, it points out that the land will be held in perpetuity by the town. It also points out the fact that we, as the applicant, even though the Green Mountain Club has said they'll provide the match for the project, as the applicant, we have to agree that essentially we are the ones willing to provide the match. Even though internally that'll come through the Green Mountain Club, we are the applicant and need to commit to that matching fund amount. And the only other piece to that is the easement and right-of-way piece, which does not seem to be a problem at this point in time. So answer any questions you have, and Bill Lyons is here from the Green Mountain Club if we have questions for them as
Okay.
well.
Board members, any questions on that?
No, I don't think so.
I would expect that to be the case, so. All righty. Do you need any further motions on that, or we?
Just permission for, or actually, we have the names of the board on the resolution, which is
Right.
going around for your signature.
Okay.
I move the resolution as presented in our package tonight.
Okay.
I'd second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? So it has been approved again.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Michael. Thank you. Okay. We have a delinquent sales, tax sale property, real estate discussion. Stu?
Yes. A few weeks ago, I presented to you two bids, one on each of two properties. One on 209 Maple Street, which is a very closed-in property. The adjoining property owner bid $1,000. Basically, his plan was to tear the building down and increase his side yard. The second bid was on 207 Silver Street, and I'm giving these numbers because they are a matter of public record. This was a bid by Bill Burnham, Bennington resident. He bid $20,000 on the Silver Street property. Those are the two bids that I have. I'm asking the board to either accept or reject them. And I was thinking that should you decide that you would reject them, I would like to still be able to keep them active should we bid this again and following bids are less than what these are.
Okay. Do we have any motions to accept either of those offers?
Just one question, I'm sorry, I may have zoned out for a minute. With respect to the other parties that had expressed interest, have they, is that?
At this point, we sent out the bid notice to, I think it was some 7 individuals that expressed an interest in one or other of the other properties. We only received the 2 bids at that time.
So basically, we're deciding whether we want to accept these bids, reject these bids, and if we want to reject them, to keep them open to see what the market bears.
And I would simply rebid the projects
Okay.
at a later date here.
I move that we accept the bids as offered.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second. Should we do that separately on the?
If you're going to do them both, if you're going to accept them both,
Just,
then
if we're going to,
fine, motion is fine.
I mean, I'm just wondering if someone has a feeling about one over the other.
Yeah, I was thinking that. But,
No.
Okay.
I did get a distinct impression that there was going to be a real concern if we adopted both of them or sold both
Okay.
of them at this point.
They're 2 separate properties.
Yeah.
So the motion is
So
to
the motion is to
them.
accept both of them as a one decision. Any other discussion?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Stu, as far as what we discussed in the executive session and the individuals and other parties that were involved, can we discuss that openly now?
Because those individuals were not part of this bid action, I mean, you can discuss them if you wish, but they were not timely in their response.
I would recommend discussing only the offers on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since that's the only thing that's come forward. Anything else would be speculation. Tom?
My reaction is if there was a party that was really interested, they knew this was going on, and they might have stepped forward.
They have not heretofore made any offer. Okay. That satisfies me then.
Okay. Any other discussion? We have a motion to accept and a second. We have all in favor? That's 4, 5, none opposed, so 2 absent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, liquor license applications.
We have a number of first and second class renewals. There are no new licenses before you tonight, so I'll simply pass this for your
Okay.
signatures.
Thank you. And back to you for the manager's report, Stu.
Really nothing new to report, no action items before you tonight. I would like to indicate that we have just about reached the end of our salt budget. I was concerned we were overspent, but that is not the case. And we have now a shed full of salt. We still have about $3,000 left in that particular line item in the budget. We did overspend on the overtime. There's something about winter storms, they always come on the evening hours or on the weekends or on holidays. They never seem to snow during the day. I don't understand it myself.
But it's like Sunday night almost every week.
Every time. So we have overspent the overtime budget, but not dramatically, about $7,800 combined. And we're all hoping that we've seen the end of the major storms, but one never knows. We're into March, and the lion and the lamb issue begins to take effect. The second thing that I'm pleased to report is that we have received word from FEMA that they have received our final application or final submission. They have had direct contact from Senator Leahy and Congressman Welch with FEMA administrators, and they have promised us a thorough review and face-to-face meetings if necessary. So that is underway. We're hoping it moves along quickly, and we hope it comes out positively. And with that, I think that probably on the next meeting, I'll be talking a little bit about the Joint Municipal Survey Committee Alliance Agreement and the haulers ordinance, and we had a couple of other ordinances we put before you a couple of weeks ago. So.
Great. Okay, that's it. Any other business, Tom?
I think it's a good idea to recognize the dynasty that we continue to have, third time in a row, New England champion wrestling team.
Yes.
It's amazing. They year after year, they're the team of destiny for at least New England, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah. Michael?
Nothing.
Sharon?
I was going to echo Tom's kudos to the team in the state championship again. And just a big thank you to Mr. Monks for his due diligence and perseverance with the FEMA work that he's done.
Yeah, I've met with both Senator Leahy's staff and with Congressman Welch in the last month, and it's amazing how up to speed they are on that detail, and that our staff should be credited on keeping them up to speed. So, thank you. James?
I'd just like to add a little bit to Tom's remarks. In fact, it's been 27 consecutive state championships, 9 total New England championships, and 3 consecutive New England championships. And finally, I'd like to thank the voters of Bennington for returning me to office. I will continue to represent all of the people of Bennington in the best way that I know how, and thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations to Jim and Donald Campbell for being elected to the Select Board. All the folks who've stepped up to run, I want to thank them. That is not easy, and we appreciate their willingness to be involved. Our town clerk, the school board members, everybody who puts that time in, I want to thank them for that. Again, just to reiterate, next week, or in 2 weeks on the 23rd, we will put the advisory question number 15 on the agenda. It was defeated in Bennington, a motion to, or a recommendation to increase the level of fluoridation. We will be looking to get people to move forward on that initiative of improving the oral health of Bennington. The Bennington Oral Health Coalition, as you heard earlier, has offered to be part of that conversation. And, they have done a lot of things other than recommending fluoridation, and are obviously a lot of people in the conversation right now. So let's move forward and not wait another 12 years to try and find some solutions here.
I echo that, Greg. And it would be helpful to all of us sitting here if the opponents to the fluoridation somehow got involved in that discussion early on, because I don't think we as a select board are going to be carrying the answers in our quivers.
It's going to take some effort, and it may take some money, and that's it. And I don't think we had anyone who was opposing oral health in Bennington. So we heard a lot of comments from people saying that there's other ways to do this. Let's find them. Let's do it. Let's put this away. And move forward. Again, the streets are moving. Be careful out there. Snow is melting, so watch for things falling off of roofs. There's a lot of icicles that are just waiting to make the move, and they're going to land. Snow melts and then turns into ice in the morning, so we're going to have a lot of that to deal with. Watch, around the stop signs and around your walkways and things. We do have need for executive session, and then we're going to meet with some folks on the web, hopefully, in Tangoon City.
And that should be about 7:15.
About 7:15. So we'll go to executive session and then come back to that.
I
So-
move we go into executive session.
Do I have a
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor? That is 5. Thank you very much, everyone.
Come on in.
Hey, we're doing it.
Wow.
Hey, this is a good thing we dressed up tonight. Panorama.
Wherever you want. All right, everybody.
We're on.
There we are. There we are.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello there.
Welcome to Bennington.
Good morning. It's morning there.
Yeah. All right.
Hello, Bennington.
Hello, Tugum City.
Hello, Tugum City.
We are the Bennington Select Board. I'm Greg Van Houten.
Welcome to Tagum City.
Thank you.
Before I proceed, I would like to introduce first the councilors of Tagum City. Do you hear me, Bennington?
Yes.
Loud and
Yes.
clear.
Okay, thank you. This is Vice Mayor Hectorito Jimentisa, the Vice Mayor of Tagum City. We also have Councilor Engineer Agripino Copilia, the Chairperson of the Finance. And we also have Councilor Bong Aala, the Chairperson of the Committee on Peace and Order. And yours truly, Councilor Esther Angoy, the Committee Chairperson on Tourism and Sisterhood Ties.
Excellent. Thank you.
Nice to see you all.
Thank you for dialing in. I'm Greg Van Houten, Chair of the Select Board. I'll introduce Sharon Brush as our Vice Chair. To her left is Michael Keene of the Select Board. James Carroll to my right of our Select Board. Our Town Manager, Stuart Hurd.
I'm off camera.
He's probably just off to the side there. And Tom Jacobs on our far left. And then we have, you want to introduce?
Hi.
Your-
Hi, how are you?
Sue and
Susie, Clara, and some of my class from Bennington College. Hello.
Yeah, move the camera.
Not sure you're on camera.
Hi, son.
Yeah, go ahead, do it. Yeah.
Hello.
so we have some documents to sign here to celebrate our sister cityhood, which we're very excited about. And we're looking forward to the educational and cultural opportunities that we have in front of us, and we thank you for reaching out and starting this initiative.
Okay, may I proceed, sir? Good day to everyone. Our deep appreciation to the chairman and the members of the Bennington Select Board, the town manager, and of course, Ms. Susie Ibarra and all the people behind him. We are really honored that you choose Tagum City as your partner in this development process, which our cities are trying now to work it out. We are indeed happy to inform you that the members of the 6th City Council of Tagum City, Davao del Norte, Philippines, manifested that we are very much supportive in this kind of measures because we believe that through establishing sisterhood ties, this will build friendship between the two government institutions. And friendship, there will be sharing and exchanging of ideas, plans, and programs towards development. The sisterhood ties intention have already referred to the City Council of Tagum for deliberation and considerations. That is why we tried to reach you and arrange a Skype conversation last February 26th of this year to clear out some areas that seems vague for us. Though it was Ms. Susie Ibarra from the Bennington College who we were able to talk, but it was a nice and fruitful discussion. Before I proceed, sir, I would like to introduce to you Councilor Attorney Alan Solweta, the chairperson of the Committee on Laws, Rules, and Privileges. Say hello.
Hello.
We also have Councilor Frank Rimitar, the chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture. Say hello, Frank.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
Okay, sir, I will be the one to ask some questions if it's okay for you. And then all the councilors will be having questions too after me. Is it okay?
Please go ahead. That's great.
Okay. My first question is, in our conversation with Ms. Susie Ibarra on February 26, we asked her on who will enter into sisterhood ties with Tagum City. She replied that it is Bennington Town. May we ask affirmation from you, Sir Van Houten, being the chairman of the Select Board of Bennington, who is authorized to enter the sisterhood ties with Tagum City?
Yes. Yeah. I am Greg Van Houten. I am chair of the select board, and it was by a vote of the entire select board that we agreed to enter into this sisterhood agreement that was brought forth by Susie and the folks at Bennington College. So we're very excited about that.
Sir, excuse me, sir, I think we have some technical problems. We cannot hear you clear.
You're not hearing us? Are you hearing me now? Not hearing me clearly.
We hear, but not so clear.
Okay. Oh, how's that? Is that better? Are you hearing me better now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. It was by, I am the chair of the Bennington Select Board, correct, but it was by vote of the entire Select Board that we entered into this agreement of a sister cityhood with Tagum City. And through a recommendation, it was brought to us by Susie and members of the group at Bennington College. So with the history of the college and this history of the city of Bennington, we are very happy to enter into this agreement, and we look forward to a long relationship with Tagum City.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Sir Gregory and the City Board. In the United States, we know that you have a different states, and each states are independent to each other. And then we know pretty well that some of the local government is headed by a mayor, which is elected by their constituents. Can you share with us the structure that you have in Bennington in Vermont, the state of Vermont, so that we will be acquainted with how your select board is being selected? It is through appointment, through election, and you being the chief as the chairman of the select board, sir?
I didn't get all of that, but I think I got the idea. One of the things that Bennington is known for, and Vermont, Vermont is one of the smallest states in the United States of America, but we have a reputation for having a big sense of pride and a large sense of accomplishment and being very independent. Bennington is no different. The largest city in the state of Vermont is the smallest town in America to have that distinction. We have a lot of littles in this state, but everybody knows us and has an idea what goes on here. We have a great history from the early days of the settlement of the United States. There is an American flag that is known as the Battle of Bennington flag, or the Bennington flag, that is the only flag that is named after a town in the United States, and it's the only flag that you can fly as an American flag other than the 50 stars and 13 stripes. Bennington also had a major Revolutionary War battle named after it, the Battle of Bennington, and we celebrate in August every year with parades and reenactments and things, and people come from all over the area to celebrate the Battle of Bennington and Bennington Battle Day. So there's a lot of history here. We were recently named one of the top 20 most culturally and artistically vibrant cities in America with a population under 1 million people. So we are very proud of our artistic, cultural, and historical resources here, and we have a lot of great things to show for it.
Thank you, sir. We know the town of Bennington is within the city of Bennington also.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The town, the city, the state of Vermont.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Sir, you belong to the town of Bennington.
Correct.
Right. What is now the relation with your town with the city of Bennington?
The relationship of the town to
There is
people?
a big city of Bennington. Is it different from the town of Bennington?
Oh, Bennington, there's Bennington Town, and then there's Old Bennington, which is part of Bennington Town, which is the original settlement. And then there's North Bennington, which is also part of our entire town, but they have some of their own municipalities. But there's a little over 15,000 people in the town of Bennington, and that's all three, Old Bennington, North Bennington, and Bennington combined. And we occupy the southeastern corner of the state of Vermont.
Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Councilor Councilor Bucket. What are other possible areas of collaboration that we have to engage into, aside from education and culture exchange, as what Ms. Susie Ibarra was pushing?
Please.
Any other areas of collaboration besides our cultural and educational?
Agricultural?
I mean, there's certainly opportunities for technological and economic relationships as well. Bennington is a town with a lot of custom fabrication, a lot of entrepreneurship, where we have a company here that started here that makes carbon composite elements for aircraft and aerospace. We have a lot of we have a company that does robotics production. We have an Energizer battery plant here. They make hearing aid batteries in Bennington. There's a lot of diversified industry. We have a lot of medical facilities here. We have a very large hospital that is affiliated with Dartmouth University Hospital, Dartmouth-Hitchcock in New Hampshire. Yeah, we have a very strong agricultural history here as well. We have a farmer's market that is out in the warmer months every week, and in the winter twice a month. So there's a lot of opportunities as the relationship expands to trade off what we do and to learn about what you do in those areas.
You should come visit us.
Yes, there's an airport. There's an airport in Albany, New York, 45 minutes from here, and one in Burlington, Vermont. So come anytime.
It's only 14,000 kilometers.
And we'll come to you.
It's only 14,000 kilometers.
Sir, I would like to ask you, we are just a little bit worried in some aspects, particularly in the disorder situation in the town. That sometimes we heard travel ban advisories from the government of the United States, banning Americans from traveling to Mindanao. We would like to inform the Bennington officials, especially to those who are not so familiar with Tagum City, that Tagum City is a component city in the province of Davao del Norte, in the island of Mindanao, in our country, Philippines. We are peace-loving people, and Tagum City is an ideal place to live in. But we cannot deny the fact that there are remote areas here in Mindanao where issues of peace and order is imminent. But I would like also to remind you not to worry that those areas were very far from the city of Tacoma. Our worry is that if ever our sisterhood ties will push through, does these special order issues in other areas in Mindanao affect our bilateral relationship, especially from your end?
I think I got most of that. The relationship between Tagum City and Bennington is going to be very strongly based on the involvement of the people who have taken an interest in this. As you probably know, the government of the United States, and Bennington is no exception, is a government of the people. And if the people want something to exist, they have the power to make it exist. As you know, we like to think we're a peace-loving people too. There are obviously things that go on in the world that everyone has different opinions on. We haven't had a revolution in hundreds of years. We don't have any planned. But certainly the issues of government and governance of the day are something that we can share as well. There are certainly issues that we have that our population struggles with, that I'm sure your population struggles with, and the exchange of ideas on how people develop through the generations and handle those struggles could be another great point of collaboration, a perspective that we wouldn't otherwise have access to.
Sir, I have a question with regards to some. Do you have an engagement, or have you ever had an engagement with other local government units or city in the Philippines where there's a sisterhood ties with the town of Vermont?
I'm sorry.
Have you had any other relationships with other cities around the world?
Sure. Or this is the first time?
No, we do have another sister city. It's about a 20-year-old relationship with, I cannot say the name.
Somatio, Nicaragua.
Somatio, Nicaragua is a sister city we've had for about 20 years. And they were very excited about it, and it's something that the schools go back to quite a bit. We actually send high school students there on an annual basis.
Okay, so this would be the first engagement with the town of Bennington and the city of Tagum to the town of Bennington also.
Correct.
So with that, sir, we are very happy for this is a manifestation of an indication also to look forward for the finalization or the drafting of the sisterhood ties agreement. May we know, in your experience with Nicaragua, on who drafted the sisterhood ties agreement, either Nicaragua or the town of Bennington, or the two cities were the one who drafted their own and then shared it and agree to finalize the sisterhood agreement.
Did you get that, Stu?
I'm sorry, I didn't really understand it.
We had a hard time here understanding that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so may I rephrase some of the thoughts that I have to extend to you. One is in the case of Tagum City and town of Bennington, is it all right for you that Tagum City will draft the sisterhood ties agreement stipulations on the agreement, and then the town of Bennington also will agree on what would be some provisions of the sisterhood agreement, and then we will share. That's the time that we will share it through email or through Skype conversation so that we can finalize the content of the sisterhood agreement.
I heard that. Yes, thank you. That would
be great. It's fine.
We could do that. That's be fine.
Okay, thank you. So with that, we will be preparing some of the equals. Now, be converged, and then we will be preparing the draft of the sisterhood agreement, and then we will also sending to the select board the content of the sisterhood agreement. Is it all right for you, sir?
Yes, yes, that would be great. Thank you.
So, do you have other items or? Sir, good morning. This is Councilman Mendes. Sir, our town is already had a lot of big hospitals. Recently, one of the hospital has increased its bed capacity to 600. With populate patients up to 600. May I know that if you've got also big hospitals with some new modalities in its treatment?
I'm sorry, that was breaking up. Did anybody get that?
No, it came through unclear. Would you please repeat?
Yeah, our city has 3 big tertiary hospitals.
3 hospitals.
I know that if you've got also that kind of facilities in your place, so not only through education, that we can have some exchanges, but also in medical aspects.
Yes, we have one large hospital here. We have less than 16,000 people in the town, but the hospital serves a very large region around us. And they are affiliated and become part of a larger hospital in the state of New Hampshire, which was just a few hours from here. And that kind of, I can't speak for them, but that's the type of thing that I think they would be very interested in.
Yes, sir, my point is not only to start with, but the main aspect here is that on the students' exchange, but maybe later on, if we already have a smooth collaboration, maybe along the time on the medical exchange, maybe although we have already some, we do transplant already here, kidney, but maybe, we know, United States is much more far advanced when it comes to a medical aspect. Thank you for your answers.
That would be great. Yeah, we actually have 5 colleges in the town of Bennington, small colleges, but 5 different colleges. So an exchange program could be a lot of fun, I think.
Sir, sorry, I'm Mr. South City. I'm just, may I know, sir, what able you to find Tagum City as one of your sisterhood city? Or did you able to locate Tagum City?
Came from Bennington College.
What?
How did we
get, we were approached by Susie's folks over at Bennington College with the idea, and it was several weeks ago, and it was presented to us in an email. The select board communicates by email between meetings, and then it was proposed at a meeting and adopted in an official meeting.
Thank you. May I know, sir, how big is the area in your town of Bennington? How big the land area in terms of square miles?
36? 36 square miles.
240 kilometers.
Actually, it's 110 kilometers square.
110 kilometers square. Oh, we lost them.
Oh, oops.
You could try. I don't know if you noticed, but they get their name tags at the same place, apparently.
Yeah. Should be able to connect right in again. The area is 110.1 square kilometers.
That won't mean anything to them. Yeah, we're trying again. Here we go. Are you there? We're back.
Again.
We're back.
Sir Gregory, being the chairman of the Committee on Laws in the City Council, I would like to know from your end whether we will be the one to draft the agreement and pass it to you, and then through email, and then you will make some correction and additional collaboration so that we can finalize together, so that the council can pass necessary measure to authorize our mayor to sign. And same with you, that your civic board will authorize also to sign in behalf of the town of Bennington.
I think that's a good idea. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, that's
If you
fine
would
with
draft
that.
one and send one along, and we'll take a look at it, and if we have any suggestions or additions, we can go ahead from there. Thank you for taking that initiative.
Sir, how many Filipinos live in Bennington?
I have no idea. Do we know what our Filipino population? I don't know. Do you know how many Benningtonians live in Philippines? In Tecum City? No.
I think
May we know what is the role of Bennington University and the Sister Cities International in the sisterhood ties? The role of Bennington University and the Sister Cities International in the sisterhood ties. Do they have a rule?
Susie, do you have any rules regarding the sisterhood ties at the college?
No, I mean, basically we have the proposal of
Right.
what would be.
Now, Bennington College is not a college that's known for its rules. It's a it's a very very progressive and very liberal learning environment where students actually create their own major and create their own direction, and then fashion a field of study that suits what their specific goals are. So these kind of initiatives are something that Bennington College is known for leading in, but I don't know that they have any specific regulations as to how they would be taken.
We do have, Kendra Erickson, we do have our travel abroad and student exchange coordinator that wants to get involved.
Okay.
Discuss as a liaison.
There is a student exchange and travel abroad director that will be involved with the Sister City program at Bennington College. And we can put you in touch with her.
Good morning, sir. I'm Francisco C. Bennington City Council for Chairman of Committee on Agriculture and Food. You did mention a while ago about the agriculture and technology at your end. May I know what are product most produced at your end as a source of livelihood?
So our most produced agricultural products, are you saying?
Yes, yes.
Well, Bennington is known for its dairy farms. It's also known for producing maple syrup. We're the largest producer of maple syrup in the United States. And it's also the best maple syrup, if anyone asks. But
Thank you for that.
and cheese is very big here.
Beer too.
Sir, do you want to ask questions?
Yeah, I think we're all curious as to what the economy of Tangun City is based on. If you have a particular industry that you're known for, or an educational field that you're known for.
Yes, sir. Tangun City, the dominant products here in terms of agriculture is banana. So the exporter of fresh Cavendish banana.
Oh.
So Tangun City is, or the Philippines is among the number 11 major exporter of fresh banana. And at Tangun City, we are also producing banana chips. So banana chips, and then next is the coconut. Coconut.
Very nice.
And Tangun is a center. It's a business center where the gold processing plants, the output of golds will be mostly a process defined is Tagum City. So it's the trading center for gold in the province of Compostela Valley and Davao del Norte. So most of the gold extracted are in Compostela Valley province, and then they will travel about 30 minutes, will be in Tagum, and the commercial operations here, banks, there are many banks here because of the gold processing, and we have also veneering plant here in Tagum. So it's more of the raw or the making of plywood. So plywood industry, the raw majority are in processing Tagum.
Very interesting.
In addition, Sir Gregory, Tagum is the crossroad in southern Mindanao. You can access several provinces by passing Tagum. And because of that, 3 of our barangays, meaning village, is along the shore. And now we are on the ongoing development of one of the biggest seaport in Mindanao, in the Philippines. And the area is now declared as the industrial zone. And we're expecting a lot of investors coming in that they will produce products that will be exported to the other countries. And because of this, last Monday we just studied and recommended the construction of overpass to anticipate the bulk of traffic once the seaport will be open. And Tagum is the center also of education, the center of housing. We have a lot of housing here because of the proximity in the different areas in the southern Mindanao. And we are now also on the process, sir, of completing our AA slaughterhouse. And we are even be the recipient of the AAA slaughterhouse in the Philippines, and the only one in Mindanao, if and when we will be able to comply with the requirements. So we are a fast-growing city, Sir Gregory, and as mentioned earlier, we are a component city. We are now more than qualified to become a highly urbanized city with a category of other cities in the Philippines. So we have a lot of investors coming in, and hopefully Bennington town in the USA can bring more investors here in Tagum, and you are much welcome here in the city of Tagum, sir.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you very
What's
much.
their government? How is that?
Can you speak a little about how your government is set up in Tagum City as compared to the rest of the country?
Sir, in the Philippines, we have, as of now, we have 80 provinces. And then in the provinces, we have the different cities and municipalities. And we have the little small unit of the government known as barangay, known as village in other cities in the foreign country. And here in Tagum City, as a city, we, the elected officials, we are elected directly by people. We have the city mayor, and we have the vice mayor, and then we have the members of the city council, 10 of us, coming from the different parties. We have also the representative of our village leaders. We have here the presence of Councilor Prospero Istabilio. We have also the representative coming from the indigenous cultural community joining us in the council. So we are elected every 3 years, and we are also mandated to serve only the maximum of 3 terms. And then once you will be able to complete your 3 terms, you have to seek higher position, or else you will get out from government as an elected position. So we always accountable to the people. We always ask renewal from them 3 years, every 3 years. So we are doing our best to really let our people or our constituents feel that we have done something to make difference in their lives. So that accountability and in the name of transparency, and we also advocate the people's participation because we believe, because we pattern the Philippines in the United States. We are government of the people, by the people, and of the people. So we are electing our president directly, like the United States. However, your senator is by state. Our senator is elected at large, which is we are advocating that it should be elected by region. And we also representative, like your congressman in the different provinces, representing in the Congress. Also, our Sangguniang is known to be the local parliament. We have the city, we have the provinces, we have the municipality, and we have even the village, which is known as barangay. So we are elected at large, Sir Gregory, by the people.
Very nice, thank you. Anyone else have a question? Michael Keene has a question. I'm going to just turn you a little here, so we've got you closer for
Good
hearing.
morning, and thank you for meeting with us by Skype. I'm Michael Keene, a member of the Select Board. Two questions. Number one, in addition to English and Spanish, what other languages are spoken in Tagum City and in Mindanao in general?
There are locally in Tagum City, we have different, we can speak different languages because we are mixed with people. Dialects here are, we can speak English, of course, some
Yes.
of Spanish, because at my time, we cannot graduate college without taking 12 units of Spanish subject. And then Chinese, of course, because there are lots of Chinese people here in Tagum City. Well, Filipino language are of different kinds.
Yes.
The Ilonggo, the Tagalog, the Bisaya, the Muslims, the Mansakas. But generally, we can speak English because it is part of our curriculum in education.
Yeah. Thank you. I was just interested in the diversity of languages. Another question. I've heard that Tagum City is called the music capital of Mindanao. Tell me about that.
Yes, we just have the Musicahan Festival ended last March 7. It is a one-week celebration full of music and dances. With all the talents, we have the string instruments competition, we have the drum and bugle, we have the choir, we also have the band competition. We also have, we go to the village people where they can show their talent through stage acting, through singing. That's why we really give time and finances for this festival, the Musicahan Festival of Tagum City. We are not only concentrating on the music capital city, of which Tagum stands for. We also have the city of festivals, Tagum City, because every month we have our festivals. We have festivals for the farmers like the Ugman. We also have festivals for the lay people. We call it the Binuan Festival or the J Summit. We also have festivals for the dances. We have the dancing festival. We also have the cultural festival, the tribal festival, wherein the tribal people like the Muslim, the Mansakas, the Tigbabawon can join and show their rich culture for the people of Tagum City. We also have what you call this
In addition,
we also have the Durian Festival that is in connection with the agriculture. Durian is known as the king of all the fruits.
Thank you.
Sir, in addition, everybody loves music, and music is the sign of unity. Even though the language of love, the language of unity, once we sing together, we forget our problems. So we promote music because we want Tagum to remain to be united. Even though we belong to the different parties, we belong to the different dialects, belong to the different tribes. As far as development of Tagum is concerned, we are together. So the music is the symbol of our unity. And the city government of Tagum, in partnership with the National Commission of Culture and Arts, we have been trying to engage in training the young girls and boys to learn how to play piano, how to play guitar, how to use instruments. So we have developed a lot of different choirs, groups. We have bands here in Tagum. So we really promote music in the home. So that's why we promote Tagum as the music capital of the Southern Mindanao. And we are hoping that it is not only Southern Mindanao, but in the whole Philippines. And maybe it's now being recognized internationally because in the past administration, we have hosted the International Music Festival. And hopefully, one of these days, once we will celebrate our 2016 Musicam Festival and again another international event, hopefully the town of Bennington in the state of Vermont will be one of the performers there in Tagum City so that you can visit also Tagum City. Tagum City is just 45 minutes and 1 hour ride from the city of Davao, an international airport, and you can have Manila as your entry because there is now a direct flight from New York to Manila via Philippine Airlines, and New York is just only 45 minutes according to you to Vermont. So from Manila you can go to Davao City, and Davao City we will welcome you in the airport, and we can have together take a ride to Tagum City, and you will enjoy our 6 to 8 lanes around here in Tagum City.
Thank you.
Consider also Tagum to be the capital of the Southern Mindanao.
Thank you. Yeah, it will interest you to know that Mr. Van Houten, who is our chair, is an accomplished musician. Perhaps we can have him perform for you some night.
We will take note of that, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer.
Well, thank you very much. Does anyone else have any questions?
I don't think so.
I think we're a little overwhelmed by all the wonderful things you've told us about Tagum City. It's very exciting.
Sir, one question for
Sure.
me. Month of March is the month for women. Last Sunday we celebrate the Women International Day.
Yes.
In Bennington, do you have organization for women who actively participated in community activity?
I'm not aware of any town-wide thing. Actually, my wife participated in an event on Sunday, and she's a yoga trainer and teacher in the area, and she was preparing something for an event she was going to. But as the town, we have not put anything together as of yet. In fact, I have to confess, she was the one that told me about it, so.
But we do live in a very progressive state.
Yes, and I'll tell you, Bennington College is the type of place that takes the lead in a lot of those initiatives and keeps us honest about knowing what's going on in a lot of different parts of the culture that we may not see running around in day-to-day business.
Finally, sir, I'd like to ask from your end, how far is busing from DC to the town of Bennington?
By car, it is about 7 hours. You can fly there or take a train in a shorter period. There's a train station approximately 45 minutes from here near the airport. From Washington, yeah, to Bennington, it's about a 7-hour drive.
I asked that question self-regularly because if God will give that opportunity to me, I might be in Washington, D.C. this coming September 22 to witness the canonization of Deferral Sierra because I belong to the Sierra Club of Tagum City.
Well,
hopefully, it will be God's blessing.
That would be nice if we could get together, at least have someone meet you there, and hopefully our congressman will be there as well because his door is always open to any of our folks or any of our guests. So we might be able to work something fun out for you and maybe actually meet and go see some music.
I think, sir, we are still with our conversation.
Okay.
So we will have our vice mayor to say something.
Okay.
Sir, once again, in behalf of the City Council, we would like to thank the town of Bennington for choosing Taguig City as one of your sister city. So we're much proud and can say that now and then we're going to dedicate the town of Bennington where both mutual prosperity will see both municipality. Thank you, and once again, good morning.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you all, and I'm glad we got the connection worked out, and hopefully we can do this again and maybe make a trip to Washington.
We certainly look forward to a long relationship with your city.
Thank you for meeting with us.
Okay, sir. Good night.
Good night, Tagoon City. Good
Have a
morning,
good-
Tagoon
have a good
City.
day.
Have a good day there. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Very cool. Very nice.
Yeah.
So I guess they want to write a whole agreement.